Good morning, Team Evolve. Big welcome to our Saturday training. It is today. What's
March
today?
2nd. Can you believe it's already
March.
March the 2nd? Yay!
It is March 2nd, everyone. It is our first week of the month. I can't believe where the time has gone. Now we're already into our third month into the first quarter. And you know how exciting that is. As we all know, the slowest months of direct sales is January and February. But I cannot believe the growth, the momentum, the excitement that's happening here, not only in LifeWave, but definitely in Team Evolve. And before we get started, let me introduce myself and my beautiful co-host. I'm Peter No, SPD here, and I have my beautiful co-host, Aoril Vaughan, who's also our SPD. And we just got back from one of the biggest, let me repeat, the biggest event for Team
Ever.
Evolve ever.
Yes.
Okay. I would probably say we're going to talk about that a lot today for the first half of the training today, as we want to update everyone. We want to share with you literally information, okay, numbers to kind of elevate your vision, help you understand where we're going, why, what have been built in the last 4.5 years. Why do we have this energy? Why do we have this momentum? So everyone can understand where we are going in the next 6 months with this. Okay. So outside of that, let me just ask Aoril, how are you doing today, Aoril?
I am amazing. I'm just still kind of reeling off the whole excitement of last weekend, Peter, because I've never, Dr. Stacy really blew it out of the park. She pulled this together, you know, and because you just got the notice that David could speak was like 5 or 6 weeks ago. So we didn't even hardly have a date back in the beginning of January, so that she was able to put this together. And then we had seating for only 1,100, right? Maybe, but we were standing room only, and we sold every seat, oversold every seat. So it was absolutely amazing. I'm so happy that she was that she's the organizer that she is, and that she was able to put it together and get David there. And I was so wonderful to have Ryan in the house, Garrett and Geraldo. We had the corporate support. It could not have been better. I mean, don't you think? It was the biggest event we've ever had. Thankfully, this is a third time that David has come to speak to us, the January, February time of year. We've had the Sarasota one in Tampa, and then we had this one. So it's been absolutely amazing to see the growth and how our teams have just and the excitement. I mean, everyone was so excited, and they just couldn't believe that we had David to come speak to us for 3 hours.
So I want to piggyback off of that, Aoril, because when Marcy and I started, we started in September of 2019. A year later, during the COVID in 2020, nobody could do anything. So a year later in 2021, we had our first event, Aoril, in Long Beach, and we had 700 something plus people there. And that's when I believe I met Dr. Stacy, or it
Yep.
was Mary Lou and
I think that
Michelle.
Stacy flew in. Yeah, you're
At
right.
that time, that was the first time that we all got to meet each other. And the reason why I'm sharing this story to start off our call, Aoril, is I want today, we're really going to dive deep and kind of share the history of Team Evolve. Okay. That was about 3 years ago in July. David knew who we were back then. But as we have grown in the last 3 years, as all our systems, everyone, our training system, our 333 messaging, our website, our Team Evolve name, our biz site, everything that Aoril, Marcy, Dr. Stacy, and all of our leaders work on every single day, our podcast, our daily training. We have literally created a full-time gym where not only you're supported one-on-one with your leaders, right, April, but our
Absolutely.
entire organization supports you through breakfast, through lunch, and through dinner. We help you constantly build so you can learn from many, many, many different leadership and bodybuilders here. So David, when he walked in that door, April, and I don't think he even knew how many people were in that room. I don't think he knew the caliber and the energy that was in that room, but I can tell you he was shocked. He was blown away. And I think that carried through his presentation. As you can see, how relaxed he was, how excited he was, and everyone. I know that we love to stream, but sometimes when we stream, he cannot say and share a couple of things that he just openly does. So it really kept him open. But trust me, anything that he told us, you will know. Okay. We promise you, you will know. So,
Oh
but
yeah.
April, let's really, I want to get your feedback, and then I want to call out on a couple of the people that were there. If anybody would like to share maybe for a minute how they felt and what they saw being at this event. Okay. So I'm going to ask you first, April, and then I'll share what I saw, and then we'll go into the field real quick because I want to hear from the field what they felt and what they saw. So, April, what did you see?
I just saw over 1,000 truly excited people that have a heart to help others. And they saw when most of them had said they'd never seen David in person before, because lots of these people, maybe weren't able to go to the convention that we had in the fall, but everyone, the excitement. And another thing I was so impressed with, Peter, there's been a major shift. And I know you've probably noticed that as well. But when I was up on the stage and looking out at that crowd, I was amazed to see what I saw out there. And it was about, honestly, half men. So when have you ever been involved in a binary network marketing company when you have men supporting their wives, or just men in general, men coming because they're interested? We had doctors and chiropractors, acupuncturists, massage therapists, business owners, people seeing this for the business opportunity that it is. It was so powerful. I've never seen that before. I was with two other companies prior to LifeWave, each 10 years. And there was never, it was women. It was a women's business, both of those. And for this to be the majority of them, like half, wouldn't you say? There was like half. I was so impressed.
I'm glad you're bringing that topic up because I totally agree with you. All the companies I've been with, 90% female driven, okay? Female leadership driven. But this time around, remember everyone, stem cells cannot tell if you're a female or a male. It's still a stem cell, correct? We have a product that it's called perpetual market. Everybody is your market. Everybody's your prospect. Everybody needs this. So that's why this is the first time ever. And this is going to piggyback into what I'm going to share with you later about credibility and leadership. Okay. This is the first time ever that you get to share one product that everyone in that family, down from the granddaughter to the great, great, great grandmother, if it's still alive, can use this product, right? And this is called true generational wealth. When we say generations, and I like to say this, April, your first generation could be your grandmother, your second generation could be your mother, your third generation could be your children, correct? So if you want to look at generations like that now, everyone, this is how we're going to share our compensation plan through generations. So I can't believe you're picking it up, but kudos to all the men that are supporting their spouse building this. Kudos for all the spouse that are supporting their husbands building this. But as you can see, you can really tell how strong an organization is by how many husbands and wives are on the stage together.
It was amazing. It's like there has just been a massive shift, even since I've been in 2.5 years, because Peter, and Savvy and Dr. Harmon and like a handful of others. You know, y'all were our men, y'all were our guys in this business, they're leaders. And you especially, you know, set the stage for all that because you've been helping us. I mean, you started all this with all the podcasts and so many things, but you and the leadership, it's attracting men because it's a simple system. We keep it simple. We just have products that are effective. This technology, we're not selling makeup and shampoo and things like that. This is a technology company. So it excites a lot of people. It's wearable light technology. So, you know, and I love the humanitarian that he is, David's heart, and with the drone technology and all these other things, it really draws men in. They're interested. It's piquing their interest. They're excited. And then they see their wives or maybe themselves, how quickly when they can grasp this compensation plan and they can see money, they're like, oh, wait a minute now. Oh, my wife just made what? Wait a minute. And they really start taking a second look at this because maybe they've dabbled in something over the years before when they made a couple extra $100 a week or a month. This is life-changing income, mainly because of this compensation plan is like nothing I've ever seen before. Once you can understand the different ways that we get paid, right, Peter?
Totally. And now, because our team is evolving, our organizations are growing, our messaging is so on point with the 333. We know exactly what to do with Team Evolve. So it's attracting a lot of leadership. And at the end of the day, people equates to points, points equates to money, right? We just have to really stick on this, focus on this behavior. So this whole Saturday training today
I don't
is,
want you to spend a lot of time on your phone, but
I know, Suzanne, so I'm gonna have to mute you, okay? Okay, you did. So this is what I saw, April. When I looked at the crowd and everyone, we had sidelines there. We had leaders from above us, from sideline of us. There were many, many leaders there that came to our event. Number one, because they love our system. Number two, they love how we just support everyone in the company. This is not just Team Evolve. This is Team LifeWave, okay, everyone? As you represent Team Evolve, but you're also representing LifeWave as a corporation. So when they came back to me, and the first thing they said is, number one, wow. But number two, they're like, there is just something different with Team Evolve, with their energy and the way that they talk to people. I'm going to share with you why and what makes us different. Are you all ready?
Yeah.
Team
No,
Evolve, since day one, April, has grown organically. Team Evolve has never, we never hype. We don't convince. We don't hoorah rah. We don't posture. We don't do income claims. We share pure technology. So we've been building this community, all of us, in the last 4 years, and especially ever since we came back to the live events. Marcy and I, Dr. Stacy, April, all of our leaders have invested all of our own money into developing free events, free food, free tickets. How do we know? Ask Jan how much we all spend here, okay? It is in the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Leaders don't do this, everyone. Every MLM leader charges for our event, for their events, and they make it a profit center. We don't even sell tools. We don't even sell t-shirts and hats. Why is that? Because we want our community to be pure focused on just building. Does that make sense, everyone? We're going to really dig deep and help you understand what makes us so unique. And on top of that, when other leaders see this, or when Angela invites a guest, or when Deborah invites a guest, or Linda brings somebody, or a doctor. When they see this community, they are not joining because of you too. They're joining because they feel safe, that they actually have a safe place to bring their friends, their coworkers, people that respect in business, because they know that we're not going to lie, cheat, and cross recruit. We're not going to be doing anything that cannot be done, because we've created this now in the last 4.5 years. That's what I saw. That's what I heard. And on top of that, everybody, imagine this, everyone, and people didn't pay attention. There was over 1,100 people in there. Do you think all 1,100 people were wearing one patch? Do you think they might be wearing two patch? In just that room, there might be already 4, 5, 6 patches on one person. Times that by 1,000. So April, there was probably about 5,000 to 6,000 patches just lighting up the place. So there was so much energy there. So
that's right.
If you were in a bad mood and you walked in there, you must have been hit by lightning by the time you got here. Okay, so all these little things make such a big difference. And then everyone, for David to recognize Team Evolve, for him to understand that we have been building, bringing in volume on a consistent basis, always respecting the company, always respecting David. It is one of the most beautiful things to see. And before we even ask what everybody saw, just know, everyone, Ryan Barson, Geraldo, Garrett, Meredith, all of our management team, they are brand new. They are getting to recognize and understand who the real teams are also in LifeWave, who is really building the right way. So when they see our teams and organizations hang out this way, and they've hung out with all of us all across the world now, right, April? The company has seen Dr. Stacy and April in UK. They have seen us in Europe. They have seen me in Asia. They have seen us in Latin America. We in Canada, we are an international team. So as we're going to go through today and we're going to share with you the updates, just know we are totally evolving. We will be adjusting a lot of the podcast, a lot of the times, to make it even more effective as an organization, because every week now we have between 4,000 to 5,000 eyeballs getting trained. Let me repeat that again. We have 4,000 to 5,000 eyeballs learning, building, hanging out together. Okay. It's a huge, huge responsibility. The hardest thing for an organization, everyone, is to keep it together. Let me repeat that again. The hardest thing in an organization is to keep things together. By March, we will be hitting our 100,000th brand partner under Marcy Preble Down. Do you know what kind of a celebration that will be? Do you know that the whole LifeWave is already anticipating this? This
Peter, you got muted somehow. You got muted.
Leadership. This is called building, and each one of you is involved and have participated into this growth. So let's do this, April, for the next 10 minutes. Why don't we get a few people who were there? What did you see? How did you feel? I'll probably ask Jan. Go ahead, Jan, unmute yourself. Start with you.
It was like a mini major convention. I couldn't believe, a lot of times you sell 500 seats and 300 people show up, and we had more people than we had sold tickets. The energy, it was like electricity. You could feel it. It's just so great having people come up to you and give you hugs. And I mean, as Peter was saying, I don't know that people realize how much money the leaders spend on this stuff. I personally know. The fact that they pick up checks when you go to dinner and they supply food for everybody, it is the most generous, loving, committed group of people that I've ever had the pleasure of working with. And I'm just so grateful to be part of this team. And David Schmidt was unbelievable. Really fast story. I met a lady at the airport in California, flying to Florida. She'd been away from home for 2 months. It was just the perfect storm. I invited to the event. She lived an hour and a half, and she came to the event, saw David, fell in love, and signed up. And she's already signed up 2 people
What?
for showing up at that event. And
Now
That's sold out.
I had my business in a bag with me, so I was able. I saw her on the plane. I gave her the envelope with patches, and that was it. Perfect, the perfect scenario. Like, yay! Anyways,
man,
it was fantastic.
so our whole entire system that you've been so part of creating, literally you are the model of the model, everyone. So notice that, everyone. It takes a whole team to enroll. It takes a whole team to recruit. And even every day when we see each other on these podcasts, this is what we call an icebreaker, because when we get together, nobody's a stranger. Everybody sees each other, and that is a huge, huge deal in live events. So thank you, Jan. Anybody want to share? Jody, Gravely, do you want to share what you saw, what you felt? What's been going on?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing, as Jan said. And I think what I want to expound upon, a lot of you guys probably know that we did a retreat. Dr. Stacy's team did a retreat. And what I kept hearing from the new people, besides the meeting was amazing, was how the leaders poured into them. No matter how high, no matter how many millions of dollars they've made, they're just like normal people. And they just want to help you with everything. And they pick up tabs right and left. And I too, Jan, I've never been in a business where leaders did that. You know, they kind of had a little VIP status, and, you know, it was a real turnoff after a while in some of those businesses. And it's just a breath of fresh air to have leaders that are so generous and just want to bless people right and left. And this is just the beginning.
And huge congratulations to you
Thank
and
you,
Dr.
Jody.
Dan. You guys are being recognized on stage, getting your pins there. So
Yes.
that was a huge, huge deal. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Jody.
All right, we got Leah. Come on, Leah, and then Sherry. So Leah first. Go ahead, Leah. How you doing?
Hi. Oh my gosh, the event was, it's one of the best ones that we've done. And you know, Peter, we've been doing these for 2.5 years. And I am, the people that were there, you guys that were videoing, please, I implore you, do not post that on your social media pages. Now, it's fine if you want to share it with your teams, but we have to protect everything that this company stands for, and protect David, right? David is an incredible human being. But you know, Peter, we touched on kind of that sideline, cross line. That's one of the things that's different with this company, is that we do get help from sideline, cross line, and we as leaders are always open to helping any and everyone. We don't care. We want to help everyone, help as many people as we can. And so I think that's why we all work so well together, Peter, because we all kind of have that mindset.
I know, and it takes a community of mindsets to make a difference in a whole industry, or to revolutionize everything. And again, Leah, this is so rare. It has never been done before. I've never seen it myself, but because of the compensation plan, because of David Schmidt, because of LifeWave, because of our technology, because of who our experience is, this is all, it's like everything is coming together, right? At the right time, at the right place. So that's why this year, everyone, it is even double more important, because it's our 20-year anniversary. This is the pinnacle to show the entire industry why we are so successful and what really makes us stand out more than anything. So let me mute real quick. Boop. There we go. So Cherie, go ahead and share. What did you see? What did you feel?
Peter, Sherry McGregor here. I walked in the door there and the senior leaders were meeting me at the door and greeting me. April, Annie DeCoker, people who spent a lot of time with me personally. And of course, Kathleen Nichols, who said, I made her famous. Some of you know my pictures. I walked around that place with my camera and my face showing my pictures. Those three, you know, from several sites. And people were like, that's you. I saw you. Will you do my Zoom? And just the friendships and the love that I felt there. And you know, Peter, I'm fairly new and I'm leaving shortly to go do a business meeting with a business builder, and just the energy. And I wrote in the chat, Bible and science, it doesn't get any better than that than me. I was with National Science Foundation for 30 years. I know research and scientists and speak, and I've never heard anybody like David Smith in my life. I would have got on the plane and gone there and heard him for 3 hours and come back. But it's so much more this business, this support, the heart. It's not about money for anybody in that room that I talk to. It's about being called from above and having a primary purpose and passion that drives us with love. I love you all.
Love that share.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And I believe, you know, everybody here on this call, this is a small number, but just know whatever we feel here, it just ripples out. Okay. So everybody, you're part of this community. Every podcast, every testimonial you share, you're going to be famous. Okay. Because it is recorded into the archives. Every person that shares a testimonial, that person is benefiting 3 or 4 or the whole lineup. Does that make sense? Every single person that joins your left, your right, is part of somebody else's left, somebody else's right. It just keeps on carrying over. And our job here is just to make sure everybody becomes a better version of themselves by joining our organization. Okay. It is not about the money, because this business only costs you less than $5 a day if you really break it down. If you want to use more products, obviously it's going to cost you more patches. But if you really start sharing this opportunity, you're going to make money and your patches are free, right? We don't want anyone to pay for patches. David wants to give it to you for free, but there is no such thing as free. The exchange is people. David is paying us to build relationships, everyone. He's paying us a lot of money to do that. So I want to bring up April now, and I will have her share how big, what is our growth now, April? How fast are we growing? What are we doing in this industry? So let's take a few minutes and let's share to our teams where we're really going.
Okay. Trying to screen share. Give me 1 sec. It's not letting me share again. There we go. Let's see. I wanted to go through.
Do you want?
Can you see my screen yet?
No. I'll make you a host.
Let's see.
Oh,
try one more
I'll
time.
make you a host. Now you can. Now you're the host now, so maybe you can share.
Try again.
Yeah. Bum, bum, bum.
Is that working?
Is
that good?
No.
No. So you still can't see my screen. Oh, wonder why I'm not able to screen share right now. Let's try it again.
Let's try one more time.
I'm going to take one more person and do their testimonial about,
Sure.
worry about it, and I'll try one more try to see if I can get that to
One more person. Who was there? If not, I'm gonna pick on you if I recognize who's there. Who was there? I don't remember who's there because
Peter, I'm driving. Peter, I will share, Peter.
Okay, who's that? Lisa?
Trillo.
Okay, go ahead, Lisa.
So I have seen David in 2 conferences and also, sorry, I'm walking. Also seen him at 2 different Florida events. And this one was absolutely the most amazing. And plus I got to be at the house with all the leaders. You guys, we are in the right place at the right time.
Totally. Thank you, Lisa. And it was good to see you there also. I'll probably call on Linda. I think Linda wants to share, and then we'll go straight to April. Linda, are you unmuting yourself?
I am.
Hi, Linda.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good. Well, Peter, my joining had a lot to do with you the first day of the conference, and how absolutely nice and warm you are, and you just came through with such like you were just spewing the truth. Everything about what you were saying, I could understand, and I just focused on it, and you just turned my head. Denise, who is my sponsor, was having a lot of trouble with me. But David and Marcy and Dr. Stacy and Annie, Amy, Bob,
Wow.
everybody was so wonderful and so warm. It was just fabulous. The information, if anybody has not gone to a convention, you absolutely have to go. Denise said to me, you must come. And I did, and I'm so glad that I did.
Okay, well, it was like a little baby convention. It was Team Evolve, but this is, if you love what you just saw, Linda, get ready for the Dallas event. Okay, that's
Yeah.
gonna be 10 times more energy. But it was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you for that beautiful compliment, and so nice to have you on the team. Okay, so get ready,
Thank you.
and especially with D. So let's get D going. All right. So everyone, look at this number. April, can you explain what this number means right here, April?
I mean, I was blown away because we've wanted these numbers before, and we've really not been able to, they've not shared them with us. So this, to me, and I know for me and you and Marcy and Dr. Stacy, this is what we were wanting to know. What was our growth over last year? Because we knew everything was on fire. We knew that we were, way up over another 100 million. It was crazy over the last year. But look at that. That's why right now LifeWave is the place to be. 220% growth in the United States over 2022. Can you even believe that, Peter? Is that not like mind blowing?
To just have growth, April, that's fine. But to have double growth from like 200 million to 400 million, or 100 million to 200 million, that is a very different type of growth than growing from 10 million to 20 million, because sometimes numbers do exaggerate. But this number here is not an exaggeration, because in 2022, we were already selling in the hundreds of millions, and we're growing even double that rate now. So for all the entrepreneurs on this phone, on this Zoom right here, if you can see growth from 2022 to 2023 like this, where do you think we're going to go into 2024 and 2025?
I love that. And you know what? We know that, David, we're not going to have supply chain issues. I've never had a company that I've been with in the past that didn't have something on back order, something not available. This doesn't happen because David is a visionary. He was looking so many, many years ahead. So he's got the state of art equipment for our distribution for that. He also has for our facilities where we're making the patches in Galway, Ireland, and San Diego. We have everything we need to produce so many sleeves of patches each and every day. So we're never going to have to worry about that. I mean, has that ever happened since you've been involved with this company? There's never been an issue, right?
Never.
So we're positioned.
The only thing we are experiencing, everyone, is because we're building a brand new headquarter office in Utah, we are experiencing customer service transitioning, okay? Because we're moving people. We're also, David is preparing for us to reach 1 billion homes. Our manufacturing is ready to gear up to produce 1.8 billion sleeves, okay, in a year. That is a lot of sleeves, everyone. That will feed a lot of families, okay? So if you can just do the math, if you're selling 1 billion sleeves a year, times that by $59 or $99. Can anybody do the math on that? So we are barely the tip of the iceberg. And that's why this call today is so important. Now, look at Canada. Canada had a little rough start, but it's coming back and now it's growing. Okay. It is
It
growing.
is. And like they made the point, you know, when Garrett was on stage.
Give me 1 second. Let me go do the chat real quick. Uh, can you mute? Can you mute? There we go. Perfect. Okay. So go ahead. Go ahead, April. I think April got muted too. So everyone, as Canada had a rough start, it's coming back. Everybody, all the markets are coming back. We just opened Korea, brand new office. Guadalajara, everyone, Mexico, brand new office. Japan, Taiwan, Thailand, Philippines, Ireland, everything is getting updated. We have, I believe, 15 warehouses all around the world. So as I'm giving you these numbers, again, our entire company, LifeWave, is growing their infrastructure. What do you think Team Evolve is going to do? Same thing. We're going to evolve our infrastructure to match the companies. Okay. So go back one slide, April, to the ranks. I think if you just showed it earlier.
Okay. Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself.
Yeah, it was a picture.
Let's see. Let me go back to that same one. That one right here. Mexico, is that right?
The next, yeah, Mexico. Look at Mexico's growth now. That is double-digit growth. But again, Mexico it's been a new market, but Mexico, trust me, right, Belinda? She knows. We know how strong the Latino market is. And guess what? They're not even here yet. So what do you think is going to happen when the Latino market starts waking up and seeing the vision with LifeWave? And now you have the entire Asia coming in. The European market is growing like crazy. So I'm just telling everyone, worldwide phenomenon, right? Let's go to the next slide where I think it has all right there. I can't scroll into it, but look at this. In the year of 2023, there was 168,000 new brand partners that came into LifeWave.
So Mexico grew 249% last year.
Yes, give me 1 second, Krista. I want to mute you, Krista, real quick. There you go. So this is for the United States market, right, April? All this growth. So look at everyone. In just the United States, we had almost 170,000 brand partners, 57 new SPDs, 63 PDs. You can look at these numbers, but everything is triple digit growth, okay? I'm just saying, I don't know what else to add on here, April. I just want to let everybody understand. As you're growing, things are going to change. Right, April?
Absolutely.
Things evolve. The hardest thing is keeping things together. So David has invested a lot of money. He has hired the right leadership, the right management groups to come in here, because this management group has been working with multi billion brands before, okay? So they're not new in the block, and we're the old kids on the block that have new momentum. So I like to call it, we are called the 20-year startup. We're the 20-year company startup. Who wants to be part of a 20-year-old company that is operating like a startup and has the energy, the excitement like a brand new company, but we're old now, right? So I love sharing these numbers. I love sharing these numbers. Now, April, we're going to get into our updates with our scheduling now. We're going to get into I don't know how much we can share, but everyone, by next week, because we're starting our first week now in March, we're going to use the entire next March to pilot test our new schedules. Okay, everyone? So just have fun with this. Just know that the entire team Evolve leadership, we are now leveraging everything together as one, meaning that we're going to eliminate a few calls. We're going to focus on the daily podcast, one that you can plug into every day. And all of us as an organization just plug into those times, because we've noticed sometimes more is not better, right? Less is more. Focus is better. And then we're going to share with you our training. I'm going to pilot test a new training system very soon. So all of this is just to get through the entire March. Once we get used to this new gym time, guess what's going to happen in the second quarter and the third quarter? April, May, and June is another 3 months. July, August, September. We are going to make sure in the next 7 months, everyone, by the time September hits, you will be armed to know how to identify a bodybuilder, how to develop a bodybuilder, so you can identify your 2 key people you can build with. We're going to create all the podcasts and all the schedules for you to simply invite them on there. We will train them for you. Your job is to just what? Invite. Okay, we're going to teach you just how to focus on inviting, and all the leaders will train for you. Is that pretty cool or pretty cool? Okay. This is going to take off so much time away from a lot of our leaders here. We're going to focus as an entire organization on behaviors, money-making, real behaviors that will produce for you. And we were going to take off our responsibilities even more from our leaders. And then this year, Marcy and I and all our leaders, we are just focused on 2 things: recognizing our leaders and maxing out the compensation plan and having more fun. Our leaders now, we are traveling now, as you notice that. When you travel, when we leave, we need everything still running here at home. Does that make sense? So when we go, things still have to operate, right? So that's why this is coming in at a perfect time. So April, do you want to share a little bit of the schedules, and then I'll talk about why, and then we'll finish off the call with the leadership quote. Okay.
I love that. I love that, Peter. And it's just to make things simpler, because new people, as think about if a new person is just getting started, as Peter and I, Marcy and Stacy were discussing all this, we want to make it simple and easy to follow. That's the goal, because as our teams are growing faster than we can even, it's amazing, the growth. And we want to make this simple as possible, but also really effective, and have the so that people can still go out and build their business and not be tied down every single night, all the time. We want to open it up to have other opportunities. So we're thinking about doing this, and Marcy's working on a graphic right now. I think she just actually posted it and sent it to us as we've been on the call, to Peter and myself and Stacy. I think she sent it now, but we'll post that out when we get the graphic all ready. But we're looking at moving the podcast to be Monday night I live Eastern time zone and Peter's in California, so it will be still 6 o'clock Pacific and 9 o'clock Eastern. Monday and Thursday, we will do the patching podcast with the testing with the stories. That'll still be those 2 nights. And then on Monday and Tuesday, Marcy will still have the wonderful training that she does for everyone to join into to learn about the system. And that'll still happen on Monday and Tuesday, same time. And Wednesday, we really want people to plug into. Peter's going to make the time might change for that because he's been previously doing that during the day. So that's we're tweaking that right now, aren't we, Peter? The Wednesday, Peter in the know.
Yes.
That was at 3:30, but we're still going to have that at some point. But right now, that's when that'll be. And we want Tuesday also to keep that open so everyone can plug into Dr. Stacy. For me in the Eastern time zone, that's 8 o'clock when she does the science, the technology, and she also interviews different chiropractors and doctors. And that's a wonderful place to plug people into to learn more. That's going to be every Tuesday night at 8, and Pacific time is 5 o'clock. So that will be the Tuesday schedule. Marcy earlier in the day, and then Dr. Stacy in the evening. And then Wednesday, Peter in the know. Thursday, patching podcast. Friday, am I leaving out something, Peter?
Yes. So let me clarify this. Monday and Thursday will be 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tuesday will be 5 p.m. Dr. Stacy call. Wednesdays will be 4 p.m. patching with Marcy, and 5 p.m. Q&A with Marcy. Our Friday 1 p.m. Our Friday 1 p.m. Pacific time will be gone. So no more Fridays, everyone. And then it'll be still the same Saturday morning, 10 a.m. like this.
10 Pacific and 1 o'clock Eastern. We'll always still do the team training every Saturday at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific.
So we're all the calls, Sheila's, Wendy's, all the practitioner calls, all that will be gone, everyone, okay? As we're trimming, and we're really trimming the podcast. So what we want you to do is, because of the East Coast time, we wanted to adjust for the East Coast, and that's why Tuesdays and Wednesdays, it's at 5 o'clock and 4 and 5 with Dr. Stacy and Marcy. The Monday and Thursday will always be 6 p.m. testimonial calls. If we have all this and we give you time to invite, you have 4 days to invite all your prospects to. During those 4 days, they're going to hear testimonials. They're going to hear a doctor speaking, and Dr. Stacy is going to bring doctors in on Tuesday. On Wednesday, they're going to see how Marcy does a real live patching party. And then Marcy's going to stay on and help answer questions. So then from a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, within those 4 days, if you're doing your 3-3-3s, right? If you're inviting, if you're following up, if you're pre-qualifying, if you're peaking, if you're sharing, if you're patching, whatever you want to do, that is your 3-3-3. You only have 4 things to invite to. Is that more simpler for you to focus on? Yes. And imagine now, our calls are anywhere from 200 to 300 a day. What if we can bring that to 600 to 700 to 1,000 people every day? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All this will be posted. So it's not finalized. All this will be posted by Monday. Okay, we're just giving you, you're the first to know because you're the first to show up for this training. So you get first dibs. Everything will be posted. And then, everyone, I'm going to be doing my pilot testing on my new training. This training, when I went and I traveled, and I'm realizing sometimes there's a lot of orphans. Orphans meaning there are people like that lost their uplines, sidelines, get it? Or maybe you might get stuck in a loop, or maybe you haven't grown. Maybe you've been stuck in your rank. So I'm going to pilot test. I'm going to put out 3 hours a week I'm going to be training each specific ranks, and I will be bringing leaders to train me on those ranks. So for example, I will be having a manager training only managers allowed on there. Then I'm going to have a directors call, only directors, senior directors, executive directors, presidential directors, and senior presidential directors. Whatever rank you are, you can join that call, and I will be personally messaging training specifically for only 30 minutes, one time a week on that call. That will help all my leaders. It will help recognize all the leaders. It would train all the leaders, and we can specifically have all these recordings so you can copy and paste it to your new manager, your director, your senior director, exactly what they need to hear, how to build at that mindset from that rank. Does everybody get that? This is going to help, I believe, a lot of the missing holes as we're evolving. And if we can do this for the next 30, 60, 90 days to make sure that our entire organization grows, and we can gauge this, because if this works, which it will, it's going to build your first generation match, your second generation match, and your third generation match all throughout our entire organization. And we will be starting recognizing our leaders, and everyone gets to share even more. So don't worry if you see any of our podcast presenters not presenting anymore, because they will be presenting with me on my training calls. Okay. So you're going to still see your favorite leaders all the time. So would you like to add anything to that, April?
I was just reading some of the comments, Peter. People are asking, how do you want to address about convention at this point? Because there's, when people are calling, they're saying they're having to be added to a waiting list. Have you heard anything additionally about that?
So because we're so far ahead, I don't know, the company's creating a waiting list. If they have another 1,000, 2,000 or 3,000 people on that waiting list, I don't know how expensive. I don't know what the contract looks like. If they can add more people, add more space, we don't know. Okay. If you cannot get in, trust me, you're going to enjoy this virtually. Okay. So whoever bought the tickets, hold on to those. As it gets closer, there will be many, many people that might not go. So stay in touch with your teams. We're always going to be on the lookout for tickets. I told my team to buy a lot of extra tickets just in case they sold out. And I'm glad, and I hope they did. Okay. So, but don't worry about that part. It's done. We need to really focus on the next 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days. Okay, everyone? We're going to evolve everyone's training and make sure it's going to get more simpler. And we're going to identify and take away a lot of responsibilities more from you. And it's going to be a lot of focused, behavior driven podcast. So I want to end this call with this, April. Okay. We talk about leadership here, right? A lot of our leaders, we have a lot of responsibilities. And, as LifeWave is growing, there's a lot of leaders in the industry that are calling, might reach out to you. Okay. A lot of different companies might try to recruit you. I don't care about that stuff. And I talk about it through my leadership all the time. I just want you all to understand this, okay? In one time in your life, you only get maybe one opportunity to be free. Meaning you might get blessed. You might find one company that would just blow up. And if you were at the right place at the right time to take advantage of that growth, you might never have to work again. Some of us might have two opportunities. Some of us might blew three of those opportunities. Get it? But you're still here one time. So I want to read this. Leadership quote. It came from one of my friends who's been in the industry for over 2 decades. when he wrote this, it really, really resonated with me because I get approached by so many other companies from all over the place. Do you know why I say no all the time to even anything? I don't care what it is. I just say no. Do you know why? Because if I say yes to looking into anything, I'm opening up the door for them to come into our organization. Let me repeat that again. If you want to do 2 companies, 3 companies, that's up to you. When I read you this is the reason why I only chose one company to do this with. I even left my old company to do LifeWave. And you all know where I came from. And so did Dr. Stacy, so did April, so did Marcy, so did Jan, so did a lot of us. When we found LifeWave, we literally burned the bridge. We knew that there's only one direction to go. So I'm going to read you this, and I want you to know if this makes sense to you. Grow with this line. Use this because you will see why. Okay, so leadership endorsement. The signature to a loan contracts binds you to the terms. Failure to pay on these terms means your credits get hurt. In leadership, the credit is not a score, but your level of influence. Let me repeat that again. In leadership, the credit is not your score, but your level of influence. Leadership boils down to influence. This is why it's so critical that leaders have to be hyper aware of the things they choose to endorse or co-sign into. What you speak about, what you post, share, your lifestyle, the strategies you support, and also the people that who you align with are all endorsements. A leader's endorsements of a new product, a new marketing campaign, a new direction, or other partners is often required to create a buy-in from the group they represent. A company often relies on influential leaders to endorse things to get traction or massive adoption on new ideas or products. Everybody still with me, right?
Wow.
As a leader, you need to take that responsibility very seriously. Yes, you should be the conduit and the bridge for buy-in on behalf of the company, but you also need to remember who you are serving and representing. Your job is to endorse the things that are the best interest of the group who has put you into that leadership position. Let me repeat that line again. Your job is to endorse the things that are in the best interest of the group who has put you into that leadership position. Irresponsibility and reckless endorsing things means that you are unable to pay back on the promises you claim, and therefore you lose credits. And credits is influence. At some point, if you continue to endorse the wrong things, you will wonder why people are just not responding to you anymore. Build a track record of good endorsements, and people will climb over mountains with you and for you. P.S. This was one of the keynotes I was preparing for Mastermind. He could not make it, so he wrote this. How many of us here resonate with this leadership quote?
Wow. Peter, that was powerful, really, really powerful to make you aware of your influence. Each of us, just when you've signed your very first person, like Peter's taught us, when you've signed the very first person, that's when you open up your LifeWave business. When you haven't, that starts it right there, all the way to manager and director and all the way up through the ranks to senior presidential director. You have influence. So just be aware, like Peter said, of everything that you endorse, promote. And if you're not all in, then then that's sending the wrong signal to someone that maybe they're not going to join you, and they're not going to be all in either, because they sense that, they know. So that's I love that, Peter. Thank you for sharing that.
And I'm sharing this as we are evolving to the next level of training, as we are evolving our next level of podcast, as we are evolving our websites, our training tools. Everyone here has a part of that. That's why our leaders are so respectful of each other's lines, that we will never, ever do anything to disrespect April, Dr. Stacy, Mariah, Jance, Juliana. Everybody has a line here. Does that make sense, everyone? You all have brought your best people to this gym. We are all here for each other. So as we're growing to the next level, the next 100,000th partner, the next 100 SPDs that will be coming up, we have influence, but influence comes with a price. So I'm just reading this out because I can tell you right now, there are many leaders that take advantage of their influence. And if you see that, if you feel it, you know what to do, because we're not your boss. I cannot be with you all the time. But what we can do is train each other to recognize bad behaviors. And this is what we need to call out. And this is what we're doing now. Okay. So as we're going to grow our trainings from managers, directors, SDs, I will be training your entire organization on mindset, so you can have strong leadership from the beginning all the way to the middle, all the way to the end with us. Okay. So this is what you call organization growth. This is what you call responsibilities. Okay. So I know each one of you understood this. I know each one of you resonate with this. So what a perfect way to close out our first call of the month. And everyone, enjoy the weekend. Just know things are going to get lighter. Things are going to get better as we go. Let's finish up a Madness March, which will finish up our first quarter. And then in April, we're going to come back here again. We have multiple events. We have a huge event in Idaho. Everyone, Idaho. So if you're in Idaho, Boise, look at the biz site. I believe Mexico trip will be in April. So whoever's there, I will see you in Mexico also. I don't know what else is next. April, am I forgetting anything?
I think that's all. We will post the new.
Houston in May.
Houston in May, everyone. So that will be a boot camp from the corporation.
3rd and 4th.
3rd and 4th, May 3rd and 4th in Houston. That will be up on the biz site. So thank you, Leah, for that. So everyone, we have a jam-packed next couple of months. Okay. So April, I love you. What a wonderful day what a wonderful time to just share this with you. And any last words you want to share with our group?
I love that we're evolving together, and we're growing, and we're doing this for the best of for the good of the whole. I love that. So we the next few months are going to be amazing, and like we said, we're going to be traveling lots. There's trainings all over the country, so just stay plugged into those, and be on the lookout for a graphic that Marcy's working on right now that'll be posted in our EvolveTeam and our other pages also for our teams. Be on the lookout for that, and thank you guys.
Okay.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone. Love you.
Love you.
Bye, guys. Thank you all.
April.
Bye, Facebook world.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
Thank
Peter.
you, Peter and
I
April.
appreciate it very much.